Hello, everyone.
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello. And welcome to another episode of.
This is the Circle Podcast.
My name is James.
It is your host, Philip.
My name is Daniel.
Like always, I'm here with my best friends.
All right, so today will be a pretty fun episode.
I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, goodbye.
Goodbye, party people.
See ya.
Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of the Circle Podcast. My name is James, and I'm here with two of my other hosts.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Welcome back to. Just do a better intro. I'm just kidding.
Nah,
Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming along this journey of success and shitload of money. We're just raking in the cash, right?
Yep. Raking in the downloads.
Raking in the downloads. We're raking in the cash.
Thank you to our YouTube subscribers. We finally hit 500 million subs.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
The only one to ever do it ever.
Ever.
What do we got? A diamond placard that YouTube just sent us.
It's a uranium platter.
Uranium.
placard.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. Well, as soon as we get it, we'll just die from
Yeah.
radiation.
Yeah, worth it.
Because you want to die a legend.
Worth it,
so,
right?
Yeah.
You die on the way up, right? You don't die on the way down.
No.
Anyways, I'm Andrew, and I am glad you're here.
Welcome back to the Circle Podcast, where it's very mediocre and we don't have that very many subs, and we get probably like 5 downloads a week.
That's a lie.
This guy's brains off.
Shouts out to all the continents on the fucking planet.
It's good to see you. If you're watching us on YouTube or listen to us on whatever podcast app, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We even got some hits on Mars.
We appreciate the
Shouts outs the Martians.
We appreciate the million comments on all our social medias.
My name is Philip. It's good to see you here.
Listen, we can't get to every single one of you. But
These
you know, we pick the
motherfuckers
best
won't let
ones.
me finish my intro. But welcome back to the Circle
Sorry,
Podcast.
what's your name again? I missed
We've
it.
we've come in with some energy today, and it's good to see. But yeah,
Yeah,
welcome.
listen, I don't appreciate you spreading all this negativity.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
What the fuck's going on, huh?
I'm trying to talk to the fans.
And you're just like, you know what?
Thank you to the 10 billion listeners out there.
Sounding like Dr. Disrespect.
80% of those on Earth. The other 20%.
We're in contact with aliens. We're the only podcast that they decided to contact.
Yeah.
And we can't say too much, but
This is a direct message to my boy Bleep Bloop out there.
Nino Nino.
Nino, Nino, Nino.
Isn't it weird that all these like footages of like weird shit that's unexplained keeps coming out, and everyone keeps watching like, yeah, that's pretty weird, and then like that's it. We skim over it.
This guy's a non-believer.
This is my thing. Just how we look back, like when there was a solar eclipse, right? And people couldn't explain it, and they're like, "Oh, the gods are angry with us." I feel like that's kind of how we're being with aliens. We're just seeing stuff that we don't understand, we can't explain, and we're quick to be like, "Oh, it must be aliens." I'm just very skeptical, you know.
I understand that, but like, what about those videos of like little balls of light falling from like?
But let me
I mean, it can.
Let
it
me-
might,
let
it
me
might
say
be
this.
some phenomenon,
Might
right?
be.
let me say this. There's a clip of like something moving way too fast,
Mhm.
at an unexplainable rate over the ocean, and this is like an aircraft carrier that is
Mhm.
recording this. Tell me what is doing that.
What's weird to me is that they can lock onto it.
Hmm?
So there's some sort of
And
heat.
The other thing too
Right?
is like Air Force pilots saying that like this is normal shit that happens like all the time. Like they see these things fly by them all the time, and they can't.
But it could be like
they
it's,
have no idea what it is.
Like-
Until
like-
I see some fucking take me to your leader shit, like I'm just gonna be like,
See-
I
see-
recognize it's weird. I recognize that it's like, yeah, dude, but we can't explain it. You know, like what the fuck?
I mean, you're right on board with fucking Elon Musk. He doesn't believe in aliens. He's just like, nah.
Dude, that's
I think they're
that's
out
'cause of
there.
the
I just
whole-
don't think.
The whole Elon Musk thing is because he has like an in with NASA, and he has to like stay away from
he
the
needs-
subject of aliens. Like that's definitely what that is.
It's a PR move.
Exactly. Because if he starts talking about that shit, we're gonna be like, "What do you know, huh?
Mm.
You've
But I
been
feel
talking to NASA. What do you know?"
I feel like you start-
remember when there was that live feed of the like International Space Station or like one of our satellites?
Yeah, and there's like this weird.
it was a
dot,
live
but,
feed.
like-
As soon as that shit showed up in the feed got cut.
Yeah,
don't
I feel
know,
like he
man.
was talking about it before he even like sent NASA astronauts to space, or like even had any.
It's just
sort of doing
very unlikely. It's very unlikely based on what we know as of right now. Based on what we know about the stars around us and our galactic neighborhood, it's very unlikely. But again, you know, I don't fucking know. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? It could very well be the opposite. That there's literally fucking flying saucers all around and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how their technology works. I mean, it's just weird that they're able to lock onto it
Mm.
with their technology or with like Air Force technology.
Mm.
But like, are you able to lock on to anything?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I would think it's
Asking the
something
wrong
that
guy.
might
Yeah.
have a heat signature. I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
But what do I know? Not a lot.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
But,
I took it aliens. My bad.
That was also a PR stunt. We actually do know, but we just can't talk about it.
NASA.
With that being said, you know, I'm just gonna knock this segment out. So, have you guys heard how hackers are using gamers to become crypto rich? You guys heard of this?
Say that again.
Hackers are using gamers to become crypto rich. So what's been happening, and this is
No.
from BBC News,
Oh yeah, BBC.
written by Joe Tidy, cyber reporter, released one day ago. I'm gonna just read some of this beginning. What are you in, like, 5th grade?
Yeah, well,
Andy?
fucking-
Huh?
Well, you're the one that said it.
I must be in the 3rd
It's
grade.
the
'cause-
British Broadcasting Channel.
Well, they chose the
Something.
wrong.
Oh yeah,
fucking-
BBC. This fucking
Anyways, versions of Grand Theft Auto 5, NBA 2K19, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2018 are being given away free in online forums. But hidden inside the code of these games is a piece of crypto mining malware called Krakonosh, which secretly generates digital money once the game has been downloaded. So pretty much, people are trying to like pirate video games, and it has malware within it, which oh man, excuse me,
Excused.
that's running on the background of these people's computers, and it's mining crypto.
Is there a way to detect that it's running?
Yeah, there probably is. Like, you could, I don't know how.
You just
I don't
open
know.
the fucking task manager.
Probably. And it's like, okay, why the fuck
Yeah.
is my like GPU at 90%
Uh-huh.
usage on fucking Excel?
This thing's about to take off.
But it's believed that these criminals have made more than $2 million of crypto with the scam.
That's impressive, but not as impressive as I thought it would be.
What kind of what crypto?
No.
Any crypto?
I don't know what crypto, but that's what's been going on. So that was my little segment. SciTech News with James. Thanks for joining. See you next week.
All right, that was the end.
That was the end of the episode.
We wish you well.
See you later.
Wish you luck.
Bye. No, I'm kidding. Dude, it's getting hot in here, huh? Or is it
Yeah,
just
but
me?
I thought you closed the door for a reason.
Yeah. You said you knew what you wanted to talk about.
Yes. Well, I don't know how you guys feel about it now, because I wanted to keep the conversation going of what we were talking about before we started recording. But then you guys were like, all right, yeah, we definitely can't put this on.
Well,
And
I mean,
was
it
like,
depends what you
well,
want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down as long as it's not what I had
Not
mentioned.
specifically. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, exactly.
I think I would like to talk about just being single men
Oh,
during
so we're
2021
we're at this point of comfortability.
post pandemic. Are we? Are we?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I cannot take it too far.
I am. Are you? Are you?
Yeah, I mean, why
Uh,
not? We're already
you're-
here. I mean, the
all
question's
right.
already been asked. Like, it's
You're,
out there in the air.
Breaking news.
You sound
Podcast
you
listeners.
said that, you said that like you were in a cage and someone came up to you and you're like,
Are we doing this?
Are we doing this or not? Well, you have no choice, really. But
Yeah.
It's
like,
like,
well,
it's like
let.
he's peeking through the glory hole in a
Well, I mean,
bathroom stall. Hey, are you over there?
Well, I mean,
the glory hole and you get poked in the eye. Ah!
I'm all done anyway. But
Wasn't that in Scary Movie 2 or Scary Movie
Yeah,
1?
no, it was in the ear. Yeah, it was like in the
And it
ear.
do it again. Shoves it through his head.
But yeah, you're hearing it here first. To all the Circle Podcast listeners, the stars have aligned for the first time since.
the belt of Orion.
Never.
Have we ever
No.
all been single at the same time? Never.
No.
Now when he's been around.
Well, I mean, like even like back since high school,
No.
one of us has always been in a relationship.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Hold
maybe-
your.
I
It was
don't
always
know.
you two, though.
I was single for a long time during high school, though. For
When?
like sophomore,
Yeah.
junior year.
That's a year.
That's 2 years, buddy.
Oh, you're talking about sophomore
Sophomore year,
Oh,
all
okay.
of sophomore year, all of junior year.
Yeah.
I was single.
Yeah.
I was just.
We were just.
And it was like a different type of single. It was a type of single where I would talk to someone until I found out they liked me, and then I'd be like, okay, no.
This dude was so frustrating in high school.
I got hurt, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. I was afraid to get
It was
close to
so-
people.
He was so frustrating, dude, because he had it like the palm of his hand all the time, and he'd be like, nah, and he'd just like throw it away.
I didn't want to get close to people, man.
Dude, you're
That's telling
literally
you.
who hurt you, bro.
I was.
Who
I
hurt
was.
you?
The
I was.
embodiment of
Good
it.
embodiment
Yeah.
of who
I
hurt you,
was.
bro.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
Yeah.
stars have aligned.
the stars have aligned, and I will say this. I guess just to give some. This is a good way to start off, just to give some background knowledge to all our listeners out there. I myself got in a serious relationship. Why'd you have your belt off?
Dude, I went for my drink and it unbuckled itself.
Mm.
What the
Hey,
hell?
Okay.
it's. Let me tell you something. My belt is ready for this episode. Apparently.
Interesting.
What the hell?
Um,
He's ready to sling.
So, anyways, back in high school, going into senior year, got in a serious relationship. I was in that relationship for over 5.5 years, and
Relationship
through
or
that
jail?
time,
Oh wait,
it wasn't
which
jail.
one are you
It
talking
wasn't
about?
jail.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first one. Sorry.
No.
Hey, bitch!
Sorry.
If you're gonna ask that question, let's ask
I-
the same thing to you.
Yeah, I have no ill will towards
Oh,
her.
yeah, I wasn't-
She has been on the podcast. She's a great person. Things just didn't work out, so definitely not in jail. I was in a.
I thought you meant. Yeah. the
yeah,
one
I know.
Before that.
You're talking about freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you just weren't listening then,
Yes.
Yeah.
because he obviously said senior year.
This guy doesn't listen.
Yeah.
Are you
yes.
like the old person of the group? Is that what
No,
this
it's because
is?
he took a dick in the ear when he was in a
The glory hole?
Yeah, the glory.
Hmm?
It's because he got beat so senseless in Mortal Kombat earlier.
Oh
yeah. What can
yeah.
What can I say? What can I say? I
Okay.
haven't touched the sticks or the game in years, and it all
Just
comes
like
back
you said,
to me.
you know, a person that button
I-
mashes is gonna win.
Yeah. listen,
gonna
listen. You start beating James's ass, you start feeling good about yourself. You start seeing me then whoop your ass, and now I'm button mashing. Okay.
He was bum mashing too. You didn't know what the fuck he was
Anyways.
doing.
Okay, so
Anyways.
whenever you're losing, everyone's button mashing.
Oh, whenever I'm winning, it's like, oh, you're just playing DC's character. So what's the
Well, yeah, that's
difference?
the only way you win, bro.
All of a sudden, all of a
Hey,
sudden.
hey, bitch! I never said that. All I said was that I
Oh, you
haven't
were
played in a
thinking
long
it, dude.
time.
You were thinking
No,
it.
no, no, no,
I
no,
missed
no.
this,
You
man.
were
No,
thinking
no,
it.
no,
I
no, no.
missed
You were
this.
Listen, bitch.
You know what? Put on UFC Undisputed 2. I just fucking.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
party
All you
asses.
got, bro.
Yeah, well, and you know, I'm one trick pony, but you know, I still win.
Oh my god!
What do you fear? The man who practiced 1,000 kicks, or the man who practices one kick 1,000 times?
Exactly right. Michael Jordan's one
Dude,
trick
I haven't
pony,
heard that
technically.
saying in fucking forever.
Anyways, back to the fucking topic.
Listen, I'm not good at Mortal Kombat. Okay,
Okay, all right.
I'm just better
I'll
than you.
just-
And you. I meant
All
you
right.
as in both you.
Okay, we'll see about that.
We can go back upstairs.
We'll
We
see
can
about that
record
shit.
it, and
You
I
know what?
will.
We're cutting this episode right now. Let's go handle this.
All right, let's go.
I'm pretty sure I won 3 games,
Yeah, because I let you.
and you won what? 1?
3 games. What are you living in Fantasyland?
It sounded like you just agreed with me just now. So tell me, how many did I win?
This dude's living on Phillip Island, dude.
How many did I win?
How many did you win?
This is
How
not
many
what
did
I
I
wanted
win?
to talk about.
Hold on, no. How many did I win?
Well, like how many did you
Alright.
win, or how many did I
I'm gonna
let
go
you win?
pee. I'm gonna go
Oh,
pee.
let
Y'all
me
handle
win.
this. Y'all
Okay.
handle this. I'm gonna go pee.
No. Come back. Let's have the topic. No. I want to know how many did I win?
How many did you win? I
How
like, on
many
paper-
games did I win?
On paper, it was probably like 2.
How many did you win?
You mean how many did I let you win?
No,
probably
bitch.
like
How many
3.
did you win?
Probably like 3.
You won 3,
Yeah.
and I only won 2.
Yeah.
Bitch, at the end of that, I was ahead of you on games 1.
Yeah. Was that on
So,
the PS4?
obviously-
Was that on the PS5 screen, or was that just a statistic you came in?
Obviously,
you
you're
came-
bad at Mortal Kombat, and you can't count. So this is a very telling episode right now.
No, it's not.
It's a very fucking telling episode. I hope everyone that listens to this,
No one can
whoever's
see
a
it.
fucking fan favorite of Andy, now you know.
No one
he
can see
can't.
it.
He can't count on his one hand,
No
and
one
he's
can see
fucking
it.
terrible at Mortal
No one can
Kombat.
see it.
James was a witness while I was whooping your ass.
Oh no. No. He was eating. He didn't know what he was seeing. He was hungry.
Okay, whatever, dude. As soon as I start winning, oh, you're button mashing. Okay.
I didn't say any of that
Let-
up there.
let's
Mind
go-
you, I didn't say any of that up there. It was when you guys were down here and you guys started to attack me. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Well, now you're coming after
You're-
my personality.
Okay, this is very telling. So you're bad at Mortal Kombat, you can't count, and you're delusional because you.
How am I
literally-
delusional?
You literally said,
Did I
"Oh,
beat
you're,
you?
you're just button
Did I
mashing."
beat you?
You did beat me.
Okay, how many
You
times?
beat me like probably twice,
Okay.
and I beat you 3 times.
No.
But you can't count, and you
No.
don't remember because you're delusional.
No. You
Yes.
didn't beat me 3 times.
Yes.
We didn't
And
play
as
5
soon-
times.
As soon as I start beating your ass,
We didn't play 5 times.
as soon as I start beating your ass, I'm button mashing,
We
and
didn't
I'm
play
just
5
hitting
times.
buttons.
We didn't play 5 times.
How many times do we play then?
Not 5. Tell you that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you can tell me how many times we didn't play, but you can't tell me how many times we can.
We didn't play 5 times. Impossible.
How's it impossible?
Impossible.
How many times did you win?
At least 5. I played 5 times. I don't know what you were doing over there.
Hey, if you want to count your wins against James, wins against me, go ahead. You know, if that makes you feel better, sure. Oh,
Oh.
good job, Andy.
Why do you leave it right here?
Why are you kicking his chair around? This dude
It's on
just-
wheels.
This dude just spilled
It's
the
on
drink
wheels.
all
I
over
hit
the
it and it just
ground.
fucking floated.
Like we don't got electronics all over the place. This is literally your guys' computer hub right here.
I don't know what to do.
Throw Jalen's jacket on it.
No, that's. I'll use this. I'm gonna use this.
Is that yours?
Yep.
How many times did we play, James?
You spilled my drink?
Oh, you left it right by your fucking chair wheel.
I was moving my chair.
That's what I
I
said.
hit it by accident. And it
He's over here
rolled.
kicking the chair. James, how many times did we play?
Maybe 3 times?
Oh my god!
I don't.
And
I
the
don't know.
truth
I
comes
wasn't
out.
Keeping track, bro.
Oh.
I
Okay,
wasn't
okay,
keeping
easier
track.
way, easier way.
I wasn't keeping track.
How many characters
Yeah,
did
just
you
name the
choose?
characters. I can't believe you guys aren't done with this fucking conversation.
How many characters I choose?
Yeah.
I chose Kotal Khan. That was 1. I chose the Poison Ivy girl. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I chose. Who did I choose? Who else did I choose?
We did play 3 times. I chose Raiden, Baraka, and Noob.
Yeah.
And let me say, I won 2 times. Now that I think about it.
There's no
I know
way.
you won more
Yeah.
than once.
Thank you.
Mm.
So if we played 3 times, that means I won more than you.
Mm.
Conversation over.
I mean, theoretically, but you know, it's not on paper.
All right, whatever.
Are we ready?
Yeah,
All right,
sorry,
ready to
sorry,
move on?
sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ. Back to what I was saying. During that time, or when we were in high school, Tinder wasn't really a thing, you know, or Bumble, like these dating apps.
No.
I mean, maybe they existed, but they weren't like popular. It wasn't like a thing. I want to say it was like right when we graduated. It was like the year after graduating when Tinder like really blew up. And so
Well,
yeah,
Let's be honest. Like apps around then was like a new concept. It wasn't like
yeah. Smartphones are still barely like
Yeah.
coming into play like that. We're really dating ourselves here. But I will say, now I will say being an adult in my mid-20s, hate saying that. It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here, man.
It's wild.
Yeah. Very wild.
Yeah.
What do you have to add?
I mean, I'm trying to think of what I can say
I wanna like
without being too
too graphic
vulgar
or-
and graphic.
oh.
But I think what we're experiencing is like
It's another renaissance.
what do you mean by that?
We are. We're
You mean like
experiencing
this-
another renaissance.
Well, what sense though?
How are we
art
comparing
or-
the two?
Like, just with the idea of like self-expression and sexual freedom, art, entertainment. You know what I mean? Like during the Renaissance, you think of like, of course, like European culture, where you live to consume. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now.
Oh yeah, we're in a massive like level of consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous amount.
And now with these apps, we're just consuming each other.
Mm.
That's a fair way to put it. Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I would say that. God damn, what was my point earlier? Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I guess with these apps, do you feel like, I don't know, I guess you always hear like with these dating apps and like social media that, this might be off topic, but that you don't, because of these apps, you don't really know how to socially engage.
With people?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because when I do meet someone off an app and we're in person, it's never like I'm awkward and it's like I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, there's been like awkward moments, but yeah, it's not like,
Because it is
I f- you
easier,
forget how to
like
be
it is
social
easier to
type of
talk to
thing.
someone,
yeah, it's easier.
but just because it's easier doesn't mean it's going to be, I don't know if this makes sense. It's harder in person,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard for me to say just because, I mean, when my long-term relationship ended, or the one that was like over 5 years, I was single for like 5-6 months before going into another one. But even then, I was like focusing
Oh, it was
on
shorter than
myself.
that.
Huh?
No, we're shorter than that.
Wait, what did you
I
say?
know. I was single for like 5, almost 6 months between my last two relationships. Because we broke up.
This guy telling the truth?
We broke up in July.
I feel like he's not.
We broke up in July,
Okay.
and I didn't get with my next one until November 22nd.
When did you consider like together? Like when you first met her?
No. That's like when we were like, this is a thing.
Hmm.
But even then, we were only talking for like 2 weeks before that. Things happened pretty quick.
You might be right, but my mind's telling me no.
Because when did you and your last ex broke up? We broke up like a week apart. It was in July.
Yeah.
And you could ask her. We didn't get together till November 22nd.
You know the date, no?
Well, wasn't that fucking long ago.
Seemed like it.
Anyways, even then, like, I wasn't really single during that time, you know?
Definitely
Oh, yeah,
not.
definitely
Yeah, like I did go on dates, I did talk to other people, but not like now. And what's weird is just that the world is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Since the
new age.
last time I was single.
New age single.
What do you mean?
Just single now, with like apps and...
Yeah. Like the last time I was truly single, of course I was very different. But like, yeah, the whole the whole way it's done is just so different now. You know.
Yeah. It's not the same anymore.
Mm-mm. Before it was like you had to either get the courage to ask someone you knew, or you would go to like, I mean, for us, we were in high school. You'd go to dances and like start dancing with someone. You know.
Yeah. What do you guys think you would prefer though? Would you prefer how being single is now, or would you prefer how single was?
I prefer it now, just because like you can only meet so many people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in person, you can only meet so many people in person. And obviously, I say this now. I don't. It's not that I've been like single for a long time, so I'm sure at some point I'll get sick of it. But you get to see how much more is out there. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like what we've talked about before in terms of just gathering data. Like, you know, if you're in a small town and there's one girl that's like a cheerleader, that's what's going to like put her over the rest. You know, that one thing. But then you look at the whole rest of the world, it's like, no, there's people who are like amazing people out there. You know what I mean? And even then, there's always more people that are like, I feel like if anything, this just kind of really hits it home that there's no such thing as the one, you know, or even the one that got away. Because there's always more people out there that are just like interesting and unique and have something to offer, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. And it helps too, like, you know, right now I'm working remote, going to school remote. Like, what other option would I have right now if that didn't really exist,
yeah.
you know? Yeah.
And you?
For myself, I just look at the whole Tinder online thing. It's just a sense of like instant gratification, you know, like you can get what you want as fast as you want, as long as you match with the right person that's looking for the same thing as you. For myself, like, yeah, it's cool, but at the same time, I don't want to give up like the real world experience of like bumping into someone and being able to get them attracted to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the one thing that, you know, you might lack with just sticking to the online dating realm, is because you don't hone that craft. You have to be rejected. And I think that's something I brought up to you guys of why I stepped away from it these past however long, is because I don't want to lose that. But at the same time, like, it's not like I wasn't going out and being, you know, super extroverted or whatever. I didn't really care. But at the same time, it's something I don't want to lose. Because there has been times where it's just like I go up to a chick that I think's cute and try getting their number and I get rejected. It stings. But at the same time, you know, it kind of puts a layer of skin on you. It's like, all right, well, whatever, you know, you walk away, like, it happened.
Yeah, and I think going back to your last question, I think that's why I can't really answer that, is because I feel like now I'm much more comfortable socially than I've been, or like definitely more than the last time I was single. Like, it doesn't scare me to go up to talk to people. But like there's so many factors involved, you know what I mean? So no, like online dating hasn't harmed that. I don't feel like, oh no, I got to text her first or like something like that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't think it's helped. I think it's other stuff that's made that difference.
Interesting.
Yeah. If anything, though, like I agree. I think there's something different. It's different building a connection in person first.
Yeah.
Than virtually first. It's definitely different. I guess the best way I would sum it up is I feel like it's just changed my standards. Yeah.
Standards as in...
Set that bar pretty low, huh?
Well, it's changed my standards. Like, what I mean is this. Like, if I were to get into another relationship, like, there's a lot of people out there who, yeah, they might be attractive, but they're not doing anything with their life. You know what I mean? And I feel like, obviously, when I was like a teenager and adolescent, everyone's doing the same shit. You know, we're all in high school, so like all it is just that attractiveness. Whereas like now, you see someone attractive, but it's like they're not doing anything with their life. It's almost like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's a turnoff.
The most frustrating thing is when they're attractive and they like don't have a license or don't know how to drive. It's just like
That's what I mean. Like that's a perfect example.
you're
like
25 years old and you don't know how to drive.
like if someone is not fully independent,
Mm.
like that is a huge turnoff. You know what I mean? And I think the reason is because you see online the opposite. You do see some people that are like 20 and they're already in the career. They're already like doing their own thing, living their life. You know what I mean? And it kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like if you're in this little bubble, you don't always see the diversity that
Yeah.
exists, you know, and
That-
and just in terms of like where people are.
Yeah,
life.
there's definitely benefits to online dating. You can run into people that you would never run into.
yeah.
It's just the social,
definitely
the real
negatives, too.
world social interaction is like something that I don't want to lose.
Mm.
And you know that is something you lose when you're in a relationship. It's just something, that it's like sharpening a blade. You need to have something to grind
Mm.
against that stone and practice and get better at. Just being able to walk up to someone and say, "Hey, you're cute,"
Mm.
Can I get another drink, by the way? I'm too sober for this conversation.
Sober.
What's your
Someone
opinion?
Take over, yeah.
My opinion? On my question?
Yep. Here at the Circle Podcast, you don't get to ask questions and not answer them yourself.
I
Better
feel
mop
like...
this, bro.
Huh?
Better mop that. It's all sticky.
Still sticky?
Yeah.
Sticky icky.
Sticky, icky.
James is getting half a boner right now.
I'm like half chub.
Half chub.
I feel like
Sorry, it's getting hot.
I don't know. I guess I'd feel like I just want one for the age that I was in. You know? I
You
feel like
want what?
I would want either or for the age I was in.
What do you
Like,
mean?
Can you turn that light back over?
If I was,
Thank
you
you,
know,
sir.
living back, I guess, I don't know, in the time of like marriage and you don't divorce and,
Yeah.
you know, I would want that. But it's just like, I feel like people back then could never, obviously, but they could never
Comprehend?
not comprehend. They could never imagine how things could have been,
Mm-hmm.
and so they stuck with what they had known. You know,
Well, yeah.
like it was always like, okay, well,
Well,
this is the only girl that I could possibly get.
Right.
So like, I gotta lock her down.
And,
Like this
work
has
it
to
out,
be,
and it has
yeah,
to be
right.
perfect.
well, yeah. Society and culture definitely play a role in the way
Yeah,
that things are now when it comes to the dating atmosphere.
yeah,
Mhm.
and
Or
I
with
feel like
everything.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. It's almost kind of like the same. Like if you back then, if you like someone and they liked you back, it's almost like you had to make love happen in a sense, because like this could only be the person you could ever get, which could have been hard, right?
Mhm.
But like also now there's so much love out there now that it's might be just as hard as, you know? Does that make sense?
Because there's so much.
Just because there's so much, and you can't really find.
Are you saying love or love?
No, like love, like
serious.
yeah, like something serious, right?
Yeah.
It's just like you don't go on a dating app. A majority of people don't go on dating apps to like find the one.
It's
I feel.
Yeah.
It's actually weird when you hear stories that
They
people
got
do
married.
find the
Yeah.
one. It's
Yeah,
It's
and
an
that's like an
odd thing.
anomaly, though, right? Like when you hear that, it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like oh okay,
Yeah.
like yeah, it could happen, but it's probably not likely.
Yeah.
But I feel like I knew that going into this. I was like, oh, I'm probably not gonna find anything. That's fine, you know. I won't find like love or like a relationship, but I guess what I will find is like I'll learn like what kind of girls I like, you know, a lot about myself, what the shit I'm willing to put up with and what I'm willing not to put up with, you know. There's some shit that I like, shit that I don't like.
Like what? What's something you
Yeah,
like?
it's for our Patreon. But You know, I just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, just because it is easy, you know, it is a lot easier
Mhm.
to just get on an app and talk to someone. But
Yeah.
I don't see that as a bad thing necessarily.
I feel like these apps are embodiments of like the age-old belief that women are just as horny as men are.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If not worse.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that like, just like sexuality, like a person's or like libido. The idea of a libido is a spectrum. Like you're gonna have some men that want to have sex every single day, nonstop, and you're gonna have some men who don't. And it's the same thing with women. You know, you're gonna have some women who want a lot of sex and some who don't. So there's always gonna be like that spectrum, and I think that's part of finding a relationship is you find someone who you're kind of close to on that wavelength with, right? One thing though, again, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but I've been like finding this concept of like a relation, like I don't know why, like the concept of relationships weird lately. Like it's been really getting in my head. Like it's so weird that we do this thing of like, I'm my person, or you're my person, I'm your person. Like, you have to tell me what you're up to. We have to check in with each other. Like I don't know why that's just been feeling so weird to me and so like possessive, you know. And I think it's just from. It could be just like this is one of the first times in my life where I'm really experiencing that, like, oh yeah, you could like do whatever you want. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like there's no agreements that need to be made here, you know. But it just seems so much easier that way. And I can't help but think like in the few years that have passed since the last time I was really single to now, like what's gonna happen those few years in the future? You know, are we going to start seeing more and more people aren't settling down, people aren't getting married, people aren't monogamous? Like, what's going to happen? You know, because we're definitely going through this period of time right now where everybody's questioning everything, and all of these societal norms are being like kind of deconstructed. You know,
I do agree with you, but I don't believe it's because of the idea of like this idea of settling down and like, you know, being locked to one person. I think it's just a very simple answer, which is very off topic, but I think it's just because like you can't, in America at the moment, you can't afford to get married and have kids
start a family.
and have a house. Like you just can't.
Yeah.
Especially here in California, you just can't. And if you do, you're gonna sacrifice time with your children and your family to work for a mortgage you can't pay for, and your kids are going to end up paying for it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I truly believe that's the whole reason of why like we see like fertility rates and replacement rates in America at an all-time low.
Rates, yeah.
And it's a shitty thing because there's no real control over the housing market.
Yeah.
There is no government body that can control it in any kind of way. And that's really what's destroying America right now, because middle-class people, like all three of us, we can't buy houses
Yeah.
and not survive. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people are realizing. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah, I definitely think that
Into the mic. Into the mic.
Bro, I can't even like what I'm putting in my mouth.
Well, you're looking away from the mic when you're talking.
No.
This is why I wear the headphones, man.
No,
This-
no.
Just to help you
Anyways.
out here, okay?
Anyways, yeah, that definitely has influence. I think that definitely has influence. But I think some people are just realizing they don't have to do that anymore. You know, there's definitely people out there that they could start a family if they want, and
Yeah.
they just don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, and there isn't this. It's not as weird anymore. Whereas before, it's like, what? Like, you're how old and you don't have kids yet? Now it's like, yeah, I don't want to fucking have kids. You know?
Yeah, like intelligence level is much higher, right?
Mm.
It's at a point where it's like, for me, I don't want to have kids right now because I don't like the education system. I
Mhm.
don't want to put my kids through that, and I don't want. it's kind of like a selfish thing, but I don't want to express the hate that I have for the education system to my child as I'm putting them through it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to afford private school while also affording a house. That's why I don't want to have kids. Honestly, that's why I don't want to have kids.
And I think too, if you think about it, like having kids isn't a logical thing. If you take money out of it, like you think of all that like a woman goes through, like carrying a child, the risk of giving birth, like there's no intention for that process to be easy. You know what I mean? And in terms of like evolution or nature doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? For all nature can care, the mom can die in childbirth, but as long as you're passing on your genetic material, then that's the bar, right? That's the bar that like evolution cares about, type of thing. And we as a species are becoming more and more logical. So these things that we do that are very instinctual but not very logical, it makes sense that we're starting to acknowledge them and be like question if we want to do that or not. You know, some people will choose logical reasons to start families. Not to say that it's an illogical thing to do, but just the process of having a kid and like risking that. Like, I don't know. If I was a woman, there would be no way in hell I would give birth. No way. Fuck that. Like, people don't realize like the physiology of a woman. Wait, didn't Daniel talk about this in an episode once? I think he talked about this.
Maybe.
Who?
Not sure.
Daniel. Like
I
the
didn't
guy
even,
who.
I didn't even mean that as a shot to Daniel. I literally didn't hear what name you said.
Oh, Daniel. The physiology of a woman literally permanently changes after they have children.
Mm-hmm.
Like physically, they change. They're not the same person anymore. You know, and that's crazy. I mean, obviously, it's very different for us. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I wouldn't carry a fucking baby inside me for 9 months, give birth, and then my body's just fucking out of whack the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Is that just love though?
That's
but
rough. No, but that's the thing though. I'm not saying it's objectively illogical.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for some people, that it's worth it. It's worth it to have that.
So do you think? Because when I hear someone doesn't want to have kids in their 20s, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? It's like almost like it to me. It's a smart decision, but is it that we're getting smarter, or is that things are just more expensive?
That's the thing. I feel like you can't really separate the two. You know what I mean? Because what example do we have of the alternative, where everyone's extremely intelligent, but the cost of living is extremely low?
I mean, you had people that were extremely poor and have kids.
And that's my point. Because like there does seem to be a trend with like having kids or having large amounts of kids and like access to resources and education, right?
But what would
But
be
that same trend follows with like money.
Yeah, but what would be the because like I'm thinking about people, well, not just poor people, but I guess people just back then. What would it? I feel like it wouldn't be as logical to have a kid if you were a caveman, because it would like what is this like the chance of them surviving anyway?
Right. Yeah.
Versus now.
Well, that's one thing I was gonna ask too. Like instinctual and survival would fall into the same folder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the crazy part though, is that obviously they did.
Yeah,
If they
that's my
didn't, we
thing.
wouldn't be here. And you think of like our grandparents, right? Like my grandma, she had like 16 brothers and sisters, right? They grew up on a ranch in Mexico where literally all they ate were fucking beans and tortillas. They didn't have a hospital in their town. They didn't have access to education. My grandma got schooling up to like 2nd grade. You know what I mean? Because that's all they had. So it's like, that's not logical. You know what I mean? You could barely feed yourselves. You could barely feed your family, but you're going to have 16 kids, you know?
Yeah.
I-
My
but,
thing
like-
is that it worked.
What do you mean it worked?
They were still able to pass on,
Yeah.
their genes,
Yeah.
and there was
But-
still able to be generations after that.
Yeah. Because that's the point, though, right? Is like, because at the same time, I know my grandma had like 3 siblings who died as infants. You know what I mean? So it's like you have as many kids as you can to see how many like fucking make it. Even then, too, though, I mean, another thing, I feel like there's too many variables to make that kind of like assumption. Because you also have to question like access to birth control, like that. They didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
You know? So what was the
I gotta
alternative?
pee again.
Okay. What's the
No, yeah,
alternative?
yeah.
You just don't have sex. You know.
Yeah, but it's like it almost seems like, well, yeah, it could be expensive if you wanted to be, because like we have routines in place,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like people who had kids back then had access to hospitals, right? It was like, oh, they were just having like these natural childbirths.
Right.
But, like,
okay, I see. I think I know where you're going.
It's
Or
like
what you're
it's like
saying.
now I mean you don't have to do that technically.
Yeah.
Like, because where you came from was without
Way
hospitals.
worse, yeah.
Way worse. It's like, yeah, it could be expensive if you
If you
want it
want
to be, I guess.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know where that relationship is. Like,
Yeah.
because then obviously it's not just money.
Yeah.
I would think. It's what
Beca-
then? Education?
Yeah.
Maybe a combination of the two.
Maybe
Because I mean, if you're more educated, you're going to be more conscious about the decisions you make, I guess.
Yeah. Because it almost seems like the reason people don't want to have kids now. It wasn't the reason in terms of like people like people back then were like, oh, I don't want to have a kid because he could get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. You know?
But how do we know they said that?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but my thing is, that's way more of a threat than like, oh, I don't want to have a kid because I have this mental illness, you know, and I don't want them to be subjected to the same thing.
I would argue that
I'm not saying that.
that's not a valid reason.
Yeah, it's not a valid reason that I have a kid. I'm just saying it in like a literal sense.
Yeah.
If you had a kid,
That's the
2,000
thing, though.
years ago?
I would argue that wasn't the norm. That people would consciously say, I don't want to have kids because of blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like that's very new in human nature. You know, that's a level of awareness I just don't think we had 2,000 years ago. Because 2,000 years ago, you weren't, like... You have to remember, like, even 200 years ago, you didn't really question this idea of having a purpose in life, you know? It was like, my dad was a blacksmith, so I'm a blacksmith. And that was the end of it.
yeah,
you know?
I think I might just answer my own question in my head.
Everyone had expectations in society, whether it was to fulfill some type of job, fulfill some type of service, and to start a family. Like, that was just what you did, and people didn't really question that.
Yeah. No, I also think that currency has played a role too. Is back then it's like, yeah, you brought someone into the tribe, but it's not like you had to
Like, pay for them.
pay for their food. I mean,
You
you
have
had
to
to hunt.
provide.
Obviously, you had to give them a share of whatever
Yeah.
you brought in, but it was never like you were taking away from other people, or, you know.
Yeah, and I would argue, though, now that I think about it, I would argue that money doesn't have that much of an influence, because we know there's people who have like 10 kids and they're on welfare and they're getting checks for every kid that they have, you know? Like, at least in this country, you could have 15 kids and survive, you know? It's not like you're in a third world country where you're not guaranteed to get any aid, any food, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, like, it has to have some effect. This idea of like, oh, they're expensive, I can't buy a house, I can't start a family. But I feel like there has to be more. There has to be more there.
Yeah.
I brought that up on the argument of logical thinking. Because if you're logically thinking about it, why would you have kids if you can't afford it?
Yeah, because no, that's the thing. I think it's a part of it. I think another one too is just like time.
Yeah, and
Some people are more individualistic.
Let's be honest. People that are popping out 10 kids, you probably are
Don't
less
give a fuck.
educated.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give a fuck
Yeah.
or you're less educated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking
I-
about what the world would be like with logical
being your driving force type of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're living it to some extent, you know? Like I feel
Like,
like
I
all
think
of
that-
us we all make decisions based off logic to some
Yeah.
extent.
I think that was my original point. What is being logical? Because like what back then, should you really have a kid and bring them into like this dangerous world?
And I think that's the thing. Like we were still so. I mean, a lot of humanity. Obviously, there was civilization, but a lot of humanity was still so like animalistic. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is that you're just driven by your needs. You know, like your day to day was just like I need food, I need water, shelter, and
Coming.
have sex. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't realize is that the ideas that we have now as like people is not the norm in terms of like human history. You know, there was outliers, but I'm pretty sure 10,000 years ago there wasn't a caveman, you know, questioning.
Stop fucking with
Sorry.
your mic.
Who's he doing? Turning it on and off?
He's pressing the little button.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't a caveman that was like questioning like, what is my economic impact on the tribe? You know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
what is my purpose on this planet? For them, it was like, I live on the back of a fucking turtle shell, and you know,
Turtle shell.
if I do this for the gods, then I'll have a good hunt. You know?
I gotta be honest. I did not think this is how this conversation was going.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I mean, it ties in, but
It plays a role, but I didn't think it was gonna be as serious.
yeah, I think it's an important conversation to have.
It
Just 'cause,
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
things are not
Listen, the
what
way
they used to be.
the way I look at it is, if fertility rates are low, replacement rates are low, it'll sort itself out. That sounds like natural, like human population control on its own. You know, if
Mhm.
people are thinking that way, so be it. You know,
Yeah.
there's always going to be more people,
Mhm.
and that's one thing. If we don't replace one another, you know, by having kids, we've always, as a culture, as a species, figured out how to survive.
Yeah.
And it'll figure itself out. I'm truly not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not either. All right, should we change this to something more fun?
You got something in mind?
Well, how much are we willing to share?
How much are you willing to share?
I'm an open book.
Yeah,
Are
I
you?
mean, this dude's the one that started.
Were you like a cat in the hat, or
This
are you
topic.
like a, I don't know, a long book, The Hobbit?
What?
I'm
Let me say.
I'm like a Garfield comic strip, bro. You don't even have to turn the pages.
Oh, okay.
You don't get more open than that.
I mean, sure, but
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go for it. This dude's been single for like what, like a year
Yeah,
now?
I don't know what the
like
hell
you
this
should
dude's
be
worried
fucking an
about.
open book.
I'm just asking. I'm not worried about anything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a year, hasn't it? A year or longer?
It's been longer. It's been like almost 2 years, hasn't
It's
it?
been over 2 years, probably.
Okay,
I think
well,
it'll be
I'm
2 years this summer.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
It'll be like 2 years for me this
Oh,
summer.
okay, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm not remembering the dates you guys fucking broke up with your girlfriends.
I'll forgive you this time. Just don't let it happen again, okay? Why don't we talk about the first time
What the
we
first
lost
time?
our virginity?
Oh God.
It's funny because I remember that day so vividly.
I feel like most guys do. You
Yeah.
know, it's something you'll never forget.
Yeah.
All right, well, me first.
Yeah, start it off, big boy. Tell us.
Me first?
All right. Well, I mean, the people that know me,
That know me.
who I was with, will put the pieces together. But the people that don't, sorry. So I think I was 19 or 20. One of those. And it was with my my ex-girlfriend. We were both together for at least a year at the time. And this was back, man, this was so long ago. This is crazy thinking about it. Just thinking about how my life is now and how my life was then.
Mhm.
But it was back where I used to live. So my brothers had, because I had always lived with my brothers. I had two brothers, and they had moved out, and I had finally had my own room. So anyways, that relationship goes on, and like a year later, it just ends up happening like not randomly, but it happened when I didn't think it would happen, or it didn't feel like it was this special moment, in a sense. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a dude.
Did you guys not talk about it before?
I mean, we had fooled around. I mean, I feel like we thought we were gonna be together for a long time. You know, it was like it was unintentionally known that we were probably gonna lose both our virginities together.
But you guys didn't talk about it like, I think I'm ready type of thing.
No, it was never that. It was never like, oh yes, we're gonna set up a date and time, and nah. And it's funny because it was like in the middle of the day. It was like it's a random. I don't know. I think I think what I'm thinking about is like movies, like, you know, like this romantic kind of thing that it's, you know, you light candles and, you know, you're
Damn, bro,
like,
you're simping, dude.
But it wasn't that, and I'm not mad about it, you know, because
Well, what are the details? Where was it?
it was in my room, you know, when I was living where I was with my parents.
Was
She
anyone
just
home?
no one was home.
It's after school on a weekend.
This was on a random day. I don't really remember if I had a job then.
Oh, you said you were like 19, 20.
Yeah. I don't really remember the details of the day, or well, she had a job, but I don't really remember if I had a job. So we were, you know, things just got steamy. We ended up just doing it, and it was like not what I had thought it was gonna be.
Was
Because
it awkward?
It wasn't awkward. It just wasn't like this magical moment, you know.
Mm.
This magic moment.
It was just like, damn, this is happening. You know, this is
Mhm.
cool, I guess. And then after, it was like not cool.
What do you mean?
Because I mean, she just started like getting very emotional about it, you know. Because she had been an emotional person anyway, but there's nothing wrong with that.
It was just like a
Um,
lot? Or
Yeah, it was a lot for me
Mm.
because,
But like, was she emotional for a specific reason, or?
yeah.
Oh.
Just
You're that bad.
I probably was, dude. I don't fucking know, but it was just like I think it was a big thing for her. Yeah, I could, you know, like I feel like
Yeah.
it's a big thing for women.
Yeah.
And like them and her being who she was and her background in terms of like religion and just in terms of her being close to her mom, and you know, like she felt the need
like,
that she had to
guilty,
tell
or-
her. Yeah.
Oh.
So I ended up taking her. She was a mess, dude. It was like crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I ended up taking her to a job, and it's like she was still a mess when she had to go in. I was like, dude, like, why don't I feel this way, right?
Mm.
Like, why aren't I a mess?
Dude, that's so fucked. Did this fuck you up? I feel like this had to have had an impact.
I think it definitely had an impact, but not in a sense where I thought that. I think for sure in the moment I didn't think it was normal.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
That definitely is
No,
not
yeah,
normal.
it's
Yeah,
definitely
I definitely didn't
You
think it was
were
normal.
right to assume that.
You hit that one on the head.
I definitely
For
didn't,
sure.
I definitely didn't think it was normal, but
Oh fuck.
I feel like I just understood though. You know, like
You're just being empathetic.
Yeah,
You're being
it-
there for her.
yeah, it wasn't so. I think I knew she knew it wasn't normal either.
Mm.
It was just she couldn't help it because of just the way that she was brought up.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, you definitely like.
and
I don't
I'm
know-
sure it had an impact on me, and I don't know in
Yeah.
which way.
Yeah.
But it was like a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, because like in my mind it was supposed to be this great thing, you know, but it just wasn't, which was okay. I'm not, you know, I don't regret it at all, but it was just like, man, what the fuck is going on right now, right?
Dude, that's ass.
Yeah, and I loved her, you know, like I was like, okay, no, this is fine, like it's okay, and this is what I mean by like me being so accustomed to things the way things were that I didn't really know what
The
was,
alternative
yeah.
was, yeah.
You know, and I thought this was the way things were, and that was it, right? Because that was like my first serious thing ever. But yeah, and it happened, and she went to work, and I was just like, oh, what the fuck did I do, right? Like, you know, it was almost like on me too. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I
Like,
shouldn't
you
have done
caused
that.
it or
Yeah.
something.
And I don't really remember the time after that, but it ended up being that she felt so guilty. She told her mom,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, dude, why? Right?
What did her mom say? Did her mom get mad?
Well, I mean, I ended up going over and she like sat down with both of us, and I was like,
What'd she say?
dude, I just railed your daughter. This is what you're saying to me?
What did she tell you?
I don't remember, but
Listen.
she wanted us not to do that
You
anymore.
can't be saying shit like that when I have like liquid in my mouth, because I will spit all over you.
So like she
I
was,
almost just
her mom was
fucking-
like, "Stop that, no more."
Stop pumping my daughter.
No, that in context, she was like, no, like you guys like can't be doing this. Like I don't want.
Oh my god.
I don't want like my daughter to be having a baby. You know what I mean? Like it was like
Yeah.
valid, right?
That really stopped it.
Oh no, I didn't. But I mean, it was
Trust me,
valid.
I know.
I understood, but that's why, you know, like.
But that's not the right way. It's not, oh, don't have sex, you don't want to have a baby. It should be like, oh, you guys got to be safe. You guys got to know what your options are. Like, you got to know the responsibility.
And I
that
always
comes
was
with having
safe,
sex.
but I wouldn't have been if she wasn't so anxious about having a baby.
Mm.
So I'm kind of thankful for that because
You
I've
just been
experienced it
raw
now.
dogging.
And I'm just like, man, what the fuck? Like, I've been missing out on this. Right? But at the same time, I was like, man, I'm glad I'm not missing out on a baby.
Remember when we were telling
Yeah.
this guy, like, dude,
Yeah.
once you try it unprotected, it's like a.
But it was all, yeah.
like
It's a whole new world.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, and it's
funny,
hard.
The
it's hard
phases
to go
that I was
back.
going in was like, since I was a virgin at the time, I was able to wait for sex because I'm like, oh, I don't know what I've had, right?
Yeah, you don't know you're
I
missing
haven't
out.
had it. I don't know what I'm missing. I had it, and I was like, okay.
That's interesting to me because for myself, I felt like there's immense peer pressure as a male
To have sex?
to lose your virginity.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I never felt
I was
that.
like,
That's fucking weird to me.
Yeah, I never
I was
felt
like
that.
itching. I was like itching.
My
So
fear
is it-
was I didn't want to be asked if I was still a virgin.
Mm.
That was my fear.
I was definitely like a.
But you were all
preteen.
but you were also a very early bloomer to losing your virginity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, that's true. I didn't feel the like. I didn't feel that like high school pressure, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, fuck it. Why don't we just segue into your
Okay.
story?
So yeah, this was my first serious relationship,
Tell us the date,
dude.
the time, the
I don't-
moment of insertion.
I don't remember the date, but I do remember it was the first Wednesday of December
That is very specific.
of a specific year. Okay,
We were freshmen, right?
we were freshmen in high school.
It's almost
Um,
worse than remembering the time.
Is it? Maybe. I only remember because there was like a big. Without going too much into details, there was a big. I was a part of a certain program on my high school.
I got a pee. Sorry, dude.
Okay. And
I know this story all too well. This is more for
you
the
know
viewers
story-
than anything.
Yeah, this is for the viewers. So there was a big program in my high school, and they would do this They did this thing yearly where they would participate in a specific parade at a specific theme park that's very magical.
Very specific.
Yeah, a very specific magical theme park. They might say it's, the happiest theme park. So we did that, and that was like on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and unlike Andy, we had kind of discussed it before. Like she had brought it up in terms of like, oh yeah, like when are we gonna do this? And I was, mind you, I was a freshman while she was a junior, so I was definitely like being taken advantage of, you know, with my being a naive. I was like 13, 14 at the time.
What?
Yeah, I was around there, I think.
You
Yeah,
dirty
13,
boy.
14. The funny part, though, is because, so that Wednesday, she didn't go to school because she was sick. And then, I mean, at, like, our high school class would end at, like, 3, right? Or it was, like, 2 something. It was, like, 2:30 something specific that school would end. And my parents didn't get home till
2:37.
2:37 on the dot. My parents wouldn't get home till 5. Her parents wouldn't get home until, like, 5 or later. And so she didn't go to school, but then she told me, like, hey, like, you should come over after school. You know, in my mind, I'm like, ooh. About to act up, right? My fucking 14-year-old self wearing, like, a bright-colored snapback and
Yes, sir.
just a fucking... Just like a tragedy of an outfit. You know? And what's funny is I'm walking to her place, and I stop by the gas station that's like on the way to her house.
Which one? North or south?
North.
Okay.
North.
Okay.
There's a Chinese restaurant near that gas station.
Yes, sir.
So I stopped there, and I can only imagine how silly I must have looked buying condoms. You know, like, dude, I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was a fucking kid.
Yeah.
But I felt the same way that you did, Andy. Like, I felt that I thought I would go through some like metamorphosis, and like I would like emerge as like a man. You know what I mean? Like I thought
you
I
were
would
a butterfly about to bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I would like walk in
It was gonna be a beautiful moment.
and come out
Yeah.
like as a different person.
Yes,
like
sir.
a few more hairs on my chest.
Yeah.
You know?
Like there's gonna be a song sang as you walked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You stepped to your own beat.
But so yeah, I mean, I just remember like when it was starting, like, no way, I can't believe this is happening. You know what I mean? But I was like so nervous. I just remember being super paranoid that her parents were gonna come home. So like any little like creak, I was like, what's that? You know what I mean? So I didn't even like finish my first time just because I was so nervous. So then we just kind of like stopped because it was like starting to hurt for her. So then I was like, okay, like, well, I guess I'm gonna go home now. And then I maybe walked like 5 minutes back home, and then I called Philip. I called Philip and I told him. And then I like skipped the rest of the way home. I will say this, Andy, you definitely have an aura around you. For whatever reason, you attract the criers. Because I have yet to experience that in my life. I have never experienced it where someone cries after, and I definitely don't know how I would fucking handle that. And that's a lot, man. That's a lot. I feel like even like for being young and not really like, I feel like because I was young, I didn't really understand or like appreciate what was happening. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand the risk. Like I didn't understand that, like, dude, I could be a freshman in high school and be a dad. Like, what the fuck is that? But overall, it wasn't a bad experience, you know? I mean, it wasn't the best, but nothing that like traumatized me or anything. But I think what's weird is that I know it definitely had an effect on me, because after that was just kind of like an expectation in a relationship. Like I could not, and I still cannot see myself being in a relationship where someone's like, oh, I want to wait till marriage. And not even the religious thing, like just like the idea of that, it's like there's an aspect of the relationship that's missing.
It's
you know?
just who you are, man, and it's just something that needs to be satisfied.
Yeah. I feel like if I haven't done that with a person, I don't really know them. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a part of like getting to know someone on a romantic level. Yeah. But
I don't remember that
Yeah.
phone call, to be honest
You
with you.
don't?
No.
I remember thinking like, I need to call Philip. I need to tell him. Like, I don't know why. I feel like that was like kind of the thing, you know. I don't remember when you told us.
Me neither.
Maybe you-
I don't remember either.
I want to say that you didn't tell us for a while.
Honestly, dude, I don't remember ever thinking Andy wasn't a virgin. Like, when I met him, I just saw like, oh, you know, this dude probably just like is low key and just like, you know, does his own thing. When you told me that you like, that's one thing I do remember is that like you like lost your virginity. Is like, really? Because it was like, what was it, like probably senior year or maybe a little later?
When I lost it?
Yeah.
That was a year after
It was a year
senior year.
after.
Yeah, and when you told us, I was like, interesting, you know, because I had assumed that like, you know, you were just a low key guy that didn't talk much about
Just out here fucking?
Yeah, you thought this dude fucks.
Nah, I didn't. I mean,
I wasn't that guy that asked because like I didn't want questions coming back at me. You know, it's just like I was a person that's like I'll keep to myself and keep my information over here.
No, I never talk. I'm the kind of person if I answer questions when I'm asked. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
I was never
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it wasn't that I was
Makes
scared.
sense.
I wasn't scared that I was a virgin. I wasn't like ashamed of it. You know,
Just weren't gonna bring it up.
I just if you ask, well, yeah, I'm a virgin. So what?
Yeah,
It was just like, nah, yeah. And that's funny because I don't know. I feel like I didn't seem that way. Or I was like this womanizer, but this low key womanizer.
it's not that I thought you were like a womanizer. It's just like it was something you never
Yeah, I feel like
you never like hinted towards or you
I
know.
think that's what's funny is I felt like both you guys were more of a womanizer in high school than I was. Like,
I think the
Listen,
opposite.
Listen, when Cindy called me out when she was here about like, you know, dating a lot of people, I was like, damn, this chick was like actually paying attention to what I was doing. I didn't think people were paying
dude,
attention.
yeah, 'cause you dated like, and that's why I like kind of joke, but I kind of don't. Like, when I was a freshman in high school, I was super awkward. I had a fucking bowl cut. Like, I dressed. I didn't know what I was doing. I was still a kid. You know what I mean? And I feel like me losing my virginity had nothing to do with my actions. Like, I got picked out, and someone else was like, I'm gonna do this to him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Take advantage of this guy.
Yeah.
and I think that's why, like, I don't know. I felt like you guys were like more than me.
That's why I mean, like, when I say a lot of the time that I did not care about school, because I was one of those kids that cared more about like girls. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Getting their numbers, talking to them. That's all I cared about, and I was fucking terrible at school because of it.
Distracted.
Yeah, I'm not proud of it. I'm not boasting about it. Like, you know, it's not something to be proud of. But that's who I was in high school.
Yeah.
I
I remember, man.
I've definitely calmed down from that. I can tell you, because there's been instances where you tell me like, oh yeah, dude, you used to like this and that, and I was just like, what?
Dude, I remember it was like I wouldn't know. I would have no idea who you're gonna date next because it was always so random. Like, where the fuck did you even meet? Like, where did you even start talking to this person? Like, completely different friend groups, completely different. Like,
Yeah, I feel like you were definitely more to me.
Listen, I'm really not proud of it. It's one of the things I'm very embarrassed of.
Really?
If I'm remembered as one of those guys that just...
bro.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it.
I was never the person to like start something. I always wanted a girl to like me first. I was like never the one to.
I think
like,
I
go
was
up to
stuck.
women.
I was stuck with this idea of like, you know, oh, you just do your thing and they'll notice you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That was just wasn't me. Like
mhm.
I was I was a shy guy. I never wanted to like go up and talk to fucking girls. You know,
Yeah.
it was just like it just all happened to sit next to a girl and like make conversation. It was never like I was going out of my way, but
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah, it's just weird. I wonder how people thought of me. Besides you guys, obviously, but
Yeah, like people who didn't know us.
Yeah.
I always wonder that.
Yeah.
especially when we bump into people, you know, at the bars and shit.
Mm.
It's just like, and they're
Yeah.
saying hi to me. It's like, dude, I'd never talked to you.
Yeah.
What makes you feel like you could come up to me and say hello? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
who
that- I
do
think-
you think I am?
I think that's an aspect of us just overthinking that.
You think so?
Yeah. It's always like,
Overthinking
oh, like, you know what I mean? It was
Wait, wait,
almost
wait.
like, oh,
overthinking what?
just in a sense of like them being like more like popular than us. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you could never really
But
talk
the
to
thing is,
someone.
I for sure missed out on all those cues in high school. Like I was
Yeah.
so oblivious to all that.
I feel like a lot of people didn't care as much as we did,
Mm.
or as much
Yeah.
as me anyway.
For myself, I always thought no one was ever more popular. I always thought they were more popular.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
I thought we were all just like, you have your friends, I have mine. You know.
Yeah, but
Oh,
let's be
yeah.
honest. Our friend group where we hung out and who hung out with us was definitely like not the
Random.
normal.
We were the freaks, man.
Yeah, we
Now that I
were
think about it.
weirdos that like stuck off into the corner.
But like we were the freaks just because our group was so fucking weird and all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it made no sense.
Yeah. And now look, there's only 3 of us.
The final
They
three.
weren't really friends. Yeah, I'm kidding.
The final 3, man.
But yeah, I think I overthought a lot of shit in high school. That just didn't really matter.
Mm. I definitely did when it came to. I remember this. I remember I was for sure afraid to get close to people. 100%. And then I also remember always being worried about what other people thought.
Me too.
I would always worry like, oh no, I can't date this person because like that's gonna be weird. I don't know why. What is it like? It didn't fucking matter.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
Yeah. Anyways,
I never felt that.
I know, bro.
I dated the fucking devil at our high school.
The devil.
So listen. I have 2 stories. The first story is when I consider myself losing virginity, but the girlfriend I had at the time does not consider it her losing her virginity.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I'll tell both stories.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And if she listens to this episode, I'm sorry, but
Then fuck you.
we were
Just kidding.
we were children and we're adults now. And
Get over it.
She happens to be married now, so she's
Loser.
married. She's what? Okay.
What a loser.
If your ex-girlfriends got married, would that be fucking weird?
Nah, I'd go to the wedding.
If my ex-girlfriend got married,
Yeah.
I don't. What do you mean by weird?
Like weird seeing the person that you spent, you know, so much time with
Like married, and
getting
committed?
inside
It
or
would-
like
it would-
spending intimate moments with, you know.
Mm.
Would that be weird of thinking like, damn, this person is married?
A year ago,
Maybe,
it would.
Maybe. I mean, that's the thing. I'm open. Like me and 2 exes ago, like we're open about our sex lives.
Uh-huh.
So like that's nothing new. Of like I know she's like doing her thing. She knows I'm doing my thing. But I
Uh-huh.
think it would be weird of like, dang, like you're committing, like you're settling down.
Oh, okay,
Like
okay.
it would be that
Same on
aspect.
sense.
that
I,
would be
I
weird to
think
me.
that's what I'm talking about.
But a year ago for me, it would definitely be. It
And-
would definitely be hurtful.
And
But-
okay.
but
Yeah.
now-
no,
now
I
I
don't
don't-
feel that.
And
now,
I think I'm on your wavelength because it's just like I think like, damn, we're so young.
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah.
about this person that's just like, yeah, he's the one, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely not on that wavelength.
Yeah.
But I'll keep the first one short and sweet. We always used to mess around in the back of my car
nice.
at the old 24-hour fitness we used to go to.
Nice.
You know, right by that parking lot right there.
Yep.
It happened.
It was a great spot.
I was like you. I didn't finish. You know, it was too much pain.
Mm.
It happened.
You're paying your dick.
No,
Good
not
for
me,
her.
stupid.
Oh.
You're bad at Mortal Kombat. You can't count. You're delusional. And you're dumb.
All lies, but okay.
All right.
I think that's clip worthy. What's the fucking timestamp? That was pretty clip-worthy.
154.
Nice.
But yeah, that happened. I think I may have told you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Yeah.
So she doesn't consider it first time because it
No.
wasn't like
Ah.
fucking. Is that why?
It wasn't enjoyable. I don't know. I feel like I talked to her about it like a couple years ago.
Oh, what a bitch.
She's really not. Honestly, like she's one of the ex-girlfriends that
Sounds
like
a-
Cool
nothing
with?
was bad about the relationship.
Uh.
You know, it was just like we were too young at the wrong time kind of thing.
Mm. I kind of hate, like, I don't know. I mean, everyone can, it's a subjective thing, I guess, to a certain extent.
Oh, bitch.
What? No, I feel like I've met women before that are like, well,
Yes.
like, I've had sex, but like, I think I'm still a virgin. I feel like if you, like, once there's penetration, like,
That's why in my
losing your
mind
virginity,
that
right?
was me
Yeah.
losing virginity.
Like, of course, your first time isn't going to be like the best.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
You're virgins.
Yeah.
Tell
It's
me
like
about it.
saying, like, oh, I've never played basketball until I've won a game. You know? Like,
Mm,
no, you
Yeah.
got to learn. You got to learn to play, you know?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But yeah, that happened.
okay.
I
I don't remember the second one.
We broke up, and it was just the first time me and the devil hooked up.
Oh, okay.
The
yeah,
devil.
which
How was that time?
honestly, it was an experience because it was like, it was very random. It was very heat of the moment. It was like a very like, I remember both instances very vividly. But it was the second time was like, there had been moments where we were building up to it and like certain things stopped us, and then when it happened, I don't remember, like, it was like either in this month June or it was in July. It was one of the two. I feel like it was in June. It happened, and
Oh, wait. I think I remember. I do remember.
we went into my room and we were like, you know, getting steamy, as Andy would say, and she was like, "You need to go lock the door." And this is the
Oh,
same
wait, never
time.
mind, I don't remember.
This is the same time that my room extended and my uncle lived,
Mm.
you know, like at home, and we shared the same room. It was an extended
Yeah.
room, so like he had his own bed in the back and I had mine, and I was like, the door doesn't lock. You know, there's only like 2 rooms or 3 rooms that locks, the 2 bathrooms or my grandparents' room. And she's like, all right, well, let's go. I'm like, okay, well, where are we going? And then we end up going into my grandparents' room. And yeah, I
That's
put her on
fucked
the
up,
bed,
dude.
you know, and one thing led to another, and that was like,
Oh, Kim.
that was the first time I did it unprotected too. And yeah, I mean,
So the first
I
time
do
you
remember
did,
this
the first
story.
time
I do
You
remember
did
this
it.
story.
was without
protection.
protection.
You don't have to put quotes around protection, but yeah,
Well, like, there's
You
God
side
too.
dog.
that was my first experience with my pullout game.
And where did you hit the target?
All over her leg.
Okay, it wasn't on the bed.
No.
Okay.
Mm. It's
And
good.
as a young man, that was like his first time. Dude, it was a fucking mess. and let me tell you, it was a mess.
It was like
Shoot or shoot, huh?
it was like you dropped a
I-
fresh pot of
let-
clam chowder.
Let me tell you, I fucking shot for sure. And it was weird too. It was weird too because I locked the door. The door's closed, which in my household, my grandparents' room closed. That's not a
Sus.
normal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when they're not in it. And the weird thing too is that like the blinds were completely open. I can see my middle brother in the pool swimming, you know, like I could hear people yelling in the backyard. And I'm like, dude, if someone like just like peeps in the window, we're both caught. And sure enough,
It sounds like
it didn't stop us.
Sounds
2
like-
horny teenagers.
sounds like you didn't give a fuck. The locked door was just like
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
even
just-
important.
It was just to say you tried.
Yeah.
Listen, I was more than welcome in doing it in my bed. You know, who wants to do it in their grandparents' bed?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
I don't know.
it was very weird too because I was not trying to, you know, have sex, but both of our clothes were off.
And it just happened.
No, like you guys know how big my grandparents' bed is, right? This bitch is tall. Like it's probably like almost as tall as you, James. It's fucking huge. There's steps for my grandma to get on it.
Yeah, there's like an escalator leading up to it.
The way we did it is that I sat her up on the bed and I was standing. You know, we're making out, getting hot and steamy like always, and she decided to slip it in.
Oh.
I was not trying to.
Why were you naked though? You just took each other's clothes off?
I would lean more on like she was taking clothes off because dude, like I had like a history of like, you know, being too nervous to like commit the act, you know, psychologically. Like I'll be ready in the moment and then bam, he's gone. You know, he's like, we're not doing this today. But yeah, and then
It was like, I don't know.
exactly, yeah.
Damn.
Which I was embarrassed to admit when I was younger, but even now I'm like, it happens. As you're a young man and like trying to do something that like a lot of peer pressure is behind, and it's a big moment. Big moment.
Did you feel
with air
different
quotes.
after or no?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I feel like the way to sum it up for me was just kind of like that happened. I mean, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like... For me, it was just like, in my mind, I was like, okay, we're going to do this more often. You know? And then it's
Like,
just
I want more of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to come on some more legs.
Yeah.
Right?
Preferably not on my grandmother's bed, but yes.
Was that the
Yes,
last time
so you
on
technically-
there?
Yes.
technically-
Yes. Yeah.
The one and only.
I now have a lock on my door. Nobody needs to worry. Mother, I'm so sorry you're hearing this. 'Cause I know you watch. Don't tell my grandmother, please.
For the love of God.
She does not know this story.
Bro, what would she say if she found out?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
You
But
think they would be mad, or she would just laugh?
even then, it happened. It's
You
over with.
technically had
Yeah.
sex with your grandparents, dude.
Shut the fuck up.
Sicko.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'll just stop, man. I'll just stop.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna say it. You miss a little, and the next thing you know, grandma's having an uncle son.
It's like that. It's like that. It's like
Shut
that.
up, Philip.
It's like that Futurama episode where fucking isn't his name Phil?
Yeah, Philip Fry.
He's his own grandfather.
Oh, shit.
Dang, dude. That's
Oh
disgusting.
shit, man.
Imagine.
That'd be great.
Fucking
Little
hell.
incest baby.
You got any more questions?
Uh,
Can we move
I
on
think-
from this one?
I think this is where we should end it.
Oh God!
I
Can we
think-
leave it on someone else's high note?
No.
It's the highest note we're gonna hit tonight,
Oh,
man.
okay.
Well, hopefully no one reaches this point
Pretty sure they all will.
of
I
recording.
mean, if they do,
muscles.
they're not in this area code or country code, you know.
Well, listen. India is our highest,
Uh-huh.
but North America, the United States is still
Like
right
number
there-
two,
still-
right behind.
still right there with them.
Shaka, bruh.
So-
Make sure to follow us on the Circle Pod. Leave your comments. You know, you want to hear your feedback on this episode.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in knowing what you want to name this episode.
I'm gonna start thinking about it tonight. It has to have a good name.
Yeah.
It has to have a good name.
Pulling
kinda
the-
like
pulling the views.
Uncle Son.
Come on, dude. Why?
Just to give people a reason to like, okay, when does the Uncle Son come up? You know. I'll think of something.
And
I'll
don't
think
look at me, you sick fuck.
You're the.
Just kidding. Grandma. You about to have an awkward conversation when you get home.
I specified that I didn't get anywhere on the bed, and this guy has to go to the level of like, oh, imagine.
No, I didn't say imagine. I said technically.
This fucking
man.
guy. Who the fuck is going?
These these are the moments we need
It's
someone
JK.
important.
JK.
It's my friend that said I wanted to go out with this.
Anyways,
Let's wrap this. Let's wrap this mug up.
No, bitch. I say bye before you because you're the next episode.
no, I was saying for him.
Oh.
Anyways,
Fun episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. I had been like thinking of us sharing this like our first time.
Yeah.
For like since like the beginning, since we started this podcast, but it just never. I don't know. It just never came up. So
yeah, more appropriate now.
yeah, it's a fun episode. Tune in next time. We're gonna start changing up how the episodes are gonna be planned. So hopefully we'll bring some more better content to you all. That being said, once in, always in. Thank you for joining the circle. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, like James said, hopefully better content, because we have not been very good these last couple weeks with coming up with a topic.
Yeah, Andy.
It's okay. It's our business. We do what we want.
That's fair.
Very true. Yeah.
I'm my own boss.
And obviously, if you're watching or listening, you've been entertained and you're still sticking along. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Mother, I'm sorry if your son is embarrassing you over the internet in some kind of way or not. But at the end of the day,
I'm sure she's fucking laughing right now.
at the end of the day, let's both be honest. We both don't give a shit because we're living life, right, baby? Like, that's the way it is.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
It is what it is.
Your son's going to fall into some...
Got to see it through, my boy.
Yeah, your son's going to fall into some dark, evil
Magic.
magic, the devil's pussy, but
Coming on legs.
it's gonna happen. And look, I came out stronger, Mama. Be proud of me.
Yeah.
To everyone listening in India, thank you. We appreciate you so goddamn much. To everyone that
Love you,
listens
India.
here in North America, Canada, Australia, Japan, wherever you are, thank you so much for finding us and taking the time to listen. We appreciate you. We hope that we're getting better. We promise we will get better. And just stick along for the ride because, you know, we're not going anywhere. This is who we are. And all our vulgarness and
Disgusting.
disgusting and coming on legs. This is who we are, baby. Take it in while it lasts. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires. Don't let the man get you down. And we'll see you on the next one.
Listen, I don't know a better fun thing to watch a podcast like progress the way it is when it starts out to how it is now, you know? Like if you were watching the Joe Rogan podcast at first, you know what I mean, and then seeing how it ended up being, you're like, holy shit. How the fuck did this happen, right?
Yeah.
I like to think that this is happening right now.
I would think so.
You know?
Yeah, I would think
but like,
so.
cool, you're going along for the journey, right?
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. This is a journey, right?
This is a journey.
This is something I don't see us straying away from.
Like
No,
people-
not
We started this at
point.
what? 23?
What am I, 25?
No.
Maybe
Oh,
20.
yeah, maybe. 22,
20, yeah,
23.
23.
Around that age,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But even,
This ain't ending. You're gonna see
Yeah.
us grow into fucking,
Yeah.
But
you
even
know,
for people-
adults,
I'm
maybe
excited for
families.
this year, man. We're making some big steps behind the
Especially
scenes
with
soon.
the revealing of this episode. You know what I mean? We're all single.
Yes.
We're all gonna
Have more stories to share.
definitely some experiences. Which I'm pretty sure there's a funny story you could have shared.
Just tune in next time.
Yeah, to our Patreon members.
definitely.
Oh,
but,
God.
but
The
just
most
for the people,
expensive night of my life.
but just for the people watching and like whoever has watched consistently or not, you know, I think you definitely have seen a metamorphosis in some way or another. And it may not be for the better, or it may have, but you know, that's for you to decide. But anyway, next week is my episode, or no, next week is not my episode. Next week is our episode.
Yes, sir.
So
Straying away.
Expect something. I don't want to say better, but good. Gooder. We love you, and don't go away. MILFs unite, and God bless your mother. See you on the next one. Good night, America.
Ah!